Breaking just this hour, OpenAI is releasing a new ChatGPT-5 to the public today for free, and it's able to write software on demand. And executives at the company describe it as giving users a superpower that would have been unimaginable at any other time. OpenAI says nearly 700 people use ChatGPT each week. CBS News senior business and technology correspondent Jo Ling Kent joins me now from Los Angeles. Good to have you today on 24/7. So you heard from OpenAI CEO Sam Altman about this launch. What are your takeaways about what this can actually offer?
Yeah, you're talking about those 700 million people who are using ChatGPT every single week. So this is going to be relevant to anyone who's typing in a question into that query field and asking something of ChatGPT or asking it to do something. We were on a call last night with the CEO of OpenAI, Sam Altman, and he said this is the biggest advancement the company has ever accomplished when it comes to this type of technology. And so what we know is Altman and his team are promising that ChatGPT-5 will have less hallucinations. It will write higher quality code, things that will help people make software faster and more efficiently. Also increased in healthcare technology, and more issues and research and problems can be solved on that front as well. What's also interesting is his executive team at OpenAI also talked about the quality of writing in ChatGPT and what it's able to produce. And so, of course, there's a lot of worry about jobs being eliminated as a result of AI right now, including technologies like ChatGPT. Sam Altman, the CEO, was pressed on this issue. He was asked, look, what's going to happen to coding jobs? What's going to happen to engineering jobs? Not to mention everything else out there in society right now. And he insisted that he does not believe coding jobs will go away. He thinks that by being able to have ChatGPT create more software, it will increase demand for software in the aggregate. However, we do know, according to data from Challenger, Gray and Christmas, that there have been 10,000 jobs lost so far when it comes to AI technology so far this year. And of course, some of the other larger estimates that we've been reporting on. But ChatGPT is out now. The new 5 version is out. It's available for free, but there's also those paid premium versions that continue to exist as well. But this is a big shift. And we saw a demo. Some of the executives showed us how GPT-5 works last night. And we saw GPT-5 create a language learning app that was pretty sophisticated, relatively sleek, in a matter of moments. And we saw that happen live. And so it just makes you think, as you're using these technologies, how to use them, what's going to happen to the job market, and how to become proficient in these tools, all part of the larger story here when it comes to what GPT-5 can do and the direction of OpenAI and all of these AI companies move on.
Oh yeah. So many improvements, but also so many questions. You don't want to get so dependent on it that you forget how to use your own brain to write whatever it is you need, right? Anyway, I want to switch gears here to a different question. President Trump has officially started levying higher tariffs on dozens of countries today. What could be the long-term effect on the global economy?
Well, there's still a lot of moving pieces here, even though those higher tariff rates did go into effect for many countries overnight. What this means for the consumer is that you could soon be paying higher prices. Now, over the past few months, we've seen warming up of inflation. Of course, PCE, that important index that the Fed relies on to read inflation data, is already showing that back in June we saw appliances, computers, other types of furniture, for example, those prices are already starting to creep up. So what does this mean for you? As you look ahead, we may start seeing price increases on lots of different categories across the board. And these trade deals are still not done. There's, of course, China, which is still in talks with the US. That 90-day pause on Chinese tariffs is going to come next week. We also know that important items like semiconductors, the president is now threatening a 100% tax tariff on semiconductors. But if companies commit to manufacturing in the United States, he says that threat, which, by the way, hasn't been officially announced by the president, he's simply threatening it, that 100% tariff could be negotiated down if there's a commitment by a company to make chips here in the United States. So there's a lot of moving parts, but economists widely expect prices to go up for consumers in the coming months, especially as the pre-tariff purchases, all that inventory, say products that you might buy at a big box store, that starts to dwindle down, or small businesses, their inventory starts to dwindle down. So a lot of big impacts here, but some of the highest tariff rates we've seen in a century, and a lot of consumers are expected to pay significantly more. Mugo.
Okay, Jo Ling Kent, thank you so much for joining us today. Appreciate your time.